Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the December 8th resident meeting being brought to you live in the Longwood Room. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Good. Being brought to you in the Longwood Room live and also being televised. This is the occasion when the team members report, when Vern reports and the team members report to the residents what's been going on during the last month. And the council brings you up to date with what went on at the council meeting on December 2nd. I think in keeping with our format from before, I'll turn it over to Vernon and the team members first, and then we will conduct and listen to what went on at our council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And good morning to everybody. Thank you for being here, and hopefully you can hear me okay.
No.
Okay, you can. Okay. Well, let me move closer to the mic. That better?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So anyway, thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and just first of all say how big of a pleasure it is to be part of the Village on the Green family, and thank you for everybody for just making me feel welcome. I'm going to open up the floor with Sarah, and then I'm going to come back and do some of my report and kind of give you some updates of what's going on within the campus from the administrative perspective. Thank you.
Good morning. I think these mics are made for short people.
I don't think the mics are on.
Are they on?
I don't think it's on.
Well, I'll just talk nice and loud. How about that? I can do that. So it's actually a really exciting time here at Village on the Green. I am super excited to tell you at the end of my report what's happening this month at Village on the Green. But I'm going to back up and I'm going to tell you what we've done in November first. Since that is where the reporting needs to go. So, end of the month in November, occupied and sold on campus. So these are occupied units plus all the depositors that we have moving in. We were at 75.91%, which is outstanding. Especially knowing that we've had some attrition to the health center over the year. We are actually ending this year above where we were budgeted to end this year, knowing that we were having move-outs to the health center. So super proud of my team. Total vacancies on campus, as of the end of the month, we had 65 that were unaccounted for apartments. I'm happy to report we have already taken a few more deposits. We are down to 62 at this point. Yay. So we took 2 deposits in November. We had a total of 41 tours and we did 10 home visits. So home visits are like tours. We just do them in the person's house versus doing them here on campus. So we've done a lot during the month of November. We are seeing things start to slow down with the holiday season. That's expected. So you're not seeing us touring around campus quite as frequently. But we know in January that will start to pick up again. So please know that that's coming. Also during the month of November and here in the first part of December, we've started doing happy hours in all of your buildings, and I saw a lot of you at those happy hours. We have 2 more that are gonna happen. So tonight and tomorrow night are our last 2 happy hours. So if you are in that half of campus, the front half of campus, villas, your happy hour is tonight at 3:30 in the Heron Club. The back half of the villas on campus, your happy hour is tomorrow night at 3:30 in the Heron Club. So if you're in the villas, you are our last 2 groups. And those have been going exceptionally well. You all have been asking us a lot of great questions, kind of challenging us with what are we doing and where are we going. I like those challenges, so please bring your questions. We love those. Also, let's see, we did a pie giveaway during the month of November. So we actually gave away about 60 pies to professionals, prospects, helping people actually get to experience some of the culinary services. And nothing says warm and welcoming like, let me give you a pie for your Thanksgiving table. So my team was able to do that during November as well. Just so you know, December we actually have 11 closings during the month of December. So my team is super busy. We're wrapping up contracts. We are keeping Vernon super busy with contract signings. But it is really, we are closing the year with a bang to the tune of, we will have 32 move-ins on campus by the end of this year. That is the most we've done in the last 7 years. So that's our team. That's really it for me. I like to keep it short and sweet and positive. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. The sales team is still in Villa 465 until they get our new place done back here in the clubhouse. So that's where we are. I'm gonna turn it back over to Vernon. So thank you very much.
All right, and keeping with that same theme, one of the things that we have done, as you noticed from our last meeting, was that we had a lot of the other team, sorry, I'm doing the best I can, it's not working,
It's not
so,
on, I don't think.
anyway.
I don't think it's on.
I think it's on.
No,
Maybe
but
it's not.
we don't hear it back here.
Let me see.
Sarah, they can't hear me.
It's because I'm loud.
Nope.
I think you broke it.
Apparently somehow we turned the,
It's probably me when I was
nope,
testing.
we're out of battery life. Turn it-
Ah!
Let's hold 1 second.
Technical difficulties, so I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna kinda yell it a little bit till we get our mic situation fixed. But one of the things that we've been trying to do is also introduce the sales team, some of those folks that you, I'm sorry?
It's
Yeah,
on
it is,
now.
but it keeps going off.
Okay, gotcha, will. So anyway, we're trying to introduce a lot of our sales team, so you know who are those folks who are on our campus that have been bringing in our new folks. So with that, Shalante couldn't join us last time. I'm sure a lot of you have heard her name before, but she's our AL memory care sales and marketing person. I want to make sure I at least brought her up just to kind of, so you know who she is. She's helped out many of our folks here. She's part of our sales team. I think you met Nancy last time, so anyway. Yes. So this is Shalante, and so if you ever need anything from that perspective, obviously just ask me. The sales team is aware. We'll put you in contact with her if there's ever those needs. But anyway, just want to make sure you saw her face and got a name as well. So thank you, Shalante, for being here. I appreciate it. A couple other things just to let you know about. We had a couple folks who couldn't join us today. Chris, as you know, we recently went through a Unidyne TCM change. So he's at a training in South Florida yesterday and today, so he'll be back actually tomorrow for a little bit travel time. So he'll be back on Friday. But the big thing for his department, as he gives updates during his culinary meetings, is that first of all, we're still facing the supply chain issues. If you see the news, if you've seen things like that, you know that we're trying to overcome those challenges the best we can, and you have been patient with us as we do that. Continue to do hiring to make sure that we can provide the highest service. It was interesting as I was touching base with him earlier today, just to make sure there wasn't anything critical that he wanted me to share at the resident meeting. He had mentioned, I am just so counting my blessings. And I said, why are you counting your blessings? He said, first of all, being part of the Village on the Green team, he didn't know I was gonna share this, but also how much in better shape we are than many of the other communities right now. If you can imagine, when you're talking housekeeping, you're talking servers, some of those areas, there is just so much demand right now for the workforce. And even though we have our struggles, many other communities are facing me even worse than we are. So again, I do count my blessings and see the silver lining there. But as you know, Chris tries to be very attentive to the needs of our residents as we're going through this transition with Unidyne. So just be aware of the supply chain challenges. Also, thank you.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. All right, yes. So you do know what you were talking about. Okay, very good. Thank you. And then Missy, Missy actually had to work last night. One of the things that we try to do is do rounding at certain times, off hours. Unfortunately, she had to be in yesterday to take care of a couple of things. So the one thing that I had brought up during the resident council meeting that I want to share with you all as well is that, as you know, we've been facing this COVID challenge for, it seems like years and years now. It's been a while. We're trying to incorporate our services back in. We're trying to get everybody integrated again to what it was pre-COVID to an extent. And so The good thing about where we are now, our actually county is in the blue area. What that basically means, I know that's a clap too, Sandy, for sure. We were in the red for so long, as you know, and they go by county and they go by the state of Florida. Then we went into the yellow, or excuse me, into the orange, then we went yellow, then we went to blue for a second, then we went back into the yellow. Now we're actually blue. I really felt that, you know, during the holidays, you're always going to see those spikes in COVID cases happening, and we really didn't see that much here in Florida. And I think there's a lot of contributing factors to that. But we are in the blue now. We are trying to do a lot of open houses. We're doing a lot more things to open up the community. So we're always open to suggestions. I know Rhonda will be sharing some additional details with the team on different events and things going on. So I'm very excited that we're heading in that direction. And speaking of the assisted living, as you met Shalante, we're filling up quick there, and that's a good thing. You can tell when a community is hungry for services. When I say a community, our county. And you know, usually quality rises to the top, and that's what we've seen here. Our assisted living, they are a 36 bed. It's a smaller assisted living than many around. We're actually at 28 already, and as you know, many of you may or may not know, but the assisted living and memory care are new to our community here. When I came aboard, they had just moved over recently into their new setting along with the healthcare center. So they're actually at 28 at a capacity of 36. The memory care, we're actually at 16 at a capacity of 18. So what that means is that we're continuing to monitor. As we know, we're life care, so we want to make sure that we have opportunities and availability to our residents here on campus. So we do monitor that closely, and that's through attrition in different areas too. We also have meetings weekly to make sure that we are monitoring who may be ready for the next step, when they're looking at moving over. Do we have a place for them? Is the family involved? There's many things that we do to make sure that we're preparing for the right steps. So very exciting, yay, that memory care and the ALF, as well as our independent living, we are really doing a great job as a team, and I don't say that lightly. In this day and age, as you know, many of you being business professionals, some of you maybe even still working, you can see what we face out there. And we have a service that I think a lot of times we don't get to share with many people. People don't realize, what is the CCRC? What is life care? And we have a really good opportunity to share that, and with a full sales team, they've been able to do so, and you can see the results of that, and we're going to continue to shoot for that 90% occupancy by the end of 2022. So thank you all for your support, because the other big key that we have in part of that is that we can get them in, but who really sells them? When I recently had a visit from our home office, some of our regional staff, some new folks that came in, one of the comments they made before they left was that how great not just the staff and the friendliness of the staff were, how accommodating the residents were, and how friendly they were, the ones that they had met. And that makes a big difference. You know, we have end-to-end programs, we have different things besides our orientations and our sign-ins that we do. It means so much when they get to spend time and really connect with you as the resident. So thank you for that, and making this such a great experience for our new residents that come into the property. We've got plenty of holiday events going on, as you can see. We've got a lot of holiday decorations going up, so thank you to Rhonda, the team, maintenance, for getting those things up to make it very special for everybody. So phase 3. Phase 1 and phase 2 had been completed, those prior to my arrival here on the community, and many of you have been great in filling me in on some of those challenges that we face. With that being said, anytime you have new construction, there's always going to be disruptions in regular services and programs that we have. We are going to be putting together and working with the redevelopment committee, and hopefully communicating weekly with them. I've been told that either later this week or next week, we'll have more information finalizing the phase 3, what that looks like, and we'll be sharing those details with the redevelopment team and keeping everybody updated. So you are going to be seeing a lot of activity starting to happen on campus. We are shooting for a January start, is my understanding. If that changes, I'll communicate that. But once that construction begins of the phase 3, which includes the fitness center, card room, library, lounges, some of the other ancillary areas, we're looking at an 8 to 12 month period of time for that to be completed. So hopefully along that way, the one thing that I do ask is that it's easy when you see something coming up or something doesn't look quite right away to come to the construction team or come to Vern and say, hey, listen, this wasn't what we had planned. Just be aware that sometimes the construction, when it starts versus when it finishes, are two different things. Give them an opportunity to get the rooms together. We'll communicate things through the right channels. We don't want to slow down the process. I think that's several residents we talk about. Let's just get it done. Let's do this thing. And that's what we want to do. As of right now, this is the last phase that I'm aware of that we're doing for a while. And then we can, so to speak, make it our own after that. But just be conscious of that fact and just work with our construction folks as they come through and our leadership. Because there's going to be things that you see that are going to be right in your face, and there's other things that you aren't going to see, but we'll try and keep you communicated with that in regards to that process. We still have the doctors' clinics and things that we're working through. We've added a lot of new programs to our platform. Continue to look at your door hangs, and we'll be sending messages on Blackboard and other venues as well. And I know Touchtown to let you know when different vendors are available on campus and healthcare professionals to make sure that you're able to utilize the services that are available to you. So thank you for your continued patience on that. I did mention this briefly that we did have a home office visit this week and it went very well, but Chris Callahan is my new regional director of operations. He's who I report directly to. I've let him know about different meetings that we have here on campus. As I mentioned when I started back in late June, early July, was that I don't want that to be a surprise to our residents where, oh, Chris is coming to campus. Who's Chris? So there are going to be meetings like this where I am going to invite some of our regional staff to attend, to introduce themselves, open it up to questions, just so at least you have a familiarity with some of the home office leadership. Just like any kind of an organization, you go through changes. We've been through many changes. I don't know all the details, don't want to know the details. My priority is Village on the Green and making sure I take care of my residents in my community. But you know, we are having some good leadership from what I've seen come in the door. So I am excited to hopefully introduce them to you and hopefully be able to introduce them to you again a year from now, meaning that they're still here. So we'll continue to work through those things. One other thing, and I think Rhonda will mention a little bit more about this, team member appreciation. Thank you so much. I know I can go through this room there. Your generosity speaks volumes. That's not something that you have to do, but you do that for our employees. And we are going to do a little appreciation around 2:30 with some other surprises coming later on down the road. But thank you so much for that. It really does mean a lot, especially going into holidays when they can get a little bit of extra. Many companies don't do that, especially your for-profits and things, and you just have been so generous. So thank you for that, and hopefully we can show some of that appreciation tomorrow around 2:30. And again, thank you for your time. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Richard next. I'll stick around, and any questions before Ann gets into her final report, I'll be here to answer. So thank you so much. Appreciate y'all.
Good morning, Village on the Green.
Morning.
Could say like Robin Williams did in that movie, but I don't want to blow the speaker system out. And so just we had a community service meeting Tuesday, and I gave a little report to them on where we're at with projects. So I'm just going to kind of reiterate on that. You'll see on campus our mulching is coming along. Flower change out just took place. We're in the midst of that right now. The front entrance is done. Guard shack decorated with lights, and now we're moving through the campus with the rest of our red and white petunia theme that we run during the Christmas time. And so we do have the tree trimming crew was back yesterday, finishing up a few trees that were marked. They still have a couple more that they got to come back in with a different truck and a climbing crew because some of them they can't get to with the truck. So they're going to be in the next few days, hopefully finishing up all of that. And the big project that we've had going on down at F building, getting the roofs down there colorized, is starting to take shape and get finished up. They're up on the 3-story back working on that. Of course, their lift had to break down, of course, to cause a problem. So it's sitting in the courtyard right now waiting for them to come fix it so they can put the sealer on the courtyard. And then I promise that after that, I promise that after that, you got this document, Steve,
Wait till the watch.
this year, we will get the lights up on the building. No, basically, we're just waiting for them to get their machine out of there because we don't want them tearing down any of our lights or anything that we're putting up. So hopefully that'll be here in the next couple of days. They promised me a repair guy out today. And so we're working on that, monitor them, trying to get them all finished up. And then they'll be moving down, the next project is E-Building. And so we'll be down there bugging E-Building now, probably starting maybe next week, I'm not sure, but we're waiting on that. This project kind of runs through the end of the year and trying to get it all colorized all the way down to the clubhouse. So that's really gonna look nice when we get it done. The folks at A-Building will be happy to hear that their lounge has been painted. It's been all drywall repaired, it's been painted, so we're working on getting the flooring ordered and getting that in and getting that finished up, so there's a little daylight at the end of the tunnel on that project. And cabinetry will be the last thing that we put in, so we may open it up for meetings or so before the cabinetry goes in the kitchen, just because cabinetry has a long lead time right now with construction problems in getting supplies and everything, so we may be kind of like doing a mini opening or something there, but the bathrooms are all functional and the main thing there, so. And so we'll see how that goes. And the thing that I've been in the most trouble for is the fountain is not in operating yet for ABC Pond, and the electrician had a problem with the transformer, and it's supposed to be coming in from Texas. So as soon as he gets that, which it could be today, could be tomorrow, could be next week, but I really don't know. I'm not going to say because I get in trouble. And there's this guy over here trying to keep me accountable, but sometimes it's hard to do. And and also reminder, our phone boxes are installed in the apartment buildings. I was waiting on them to do the polishing because there was some scratches in it, and I neglected to get the temporary signs up to tell you what buttons to punch for security and everything. Apologize for that. They are working, but you just got to know what buttons. So I'm going to put a temporary up because they're still trying to find a proper company to polish that aluminum. Apparently there's an art to that, and so we're trying to get somebody in the schedule to get that done. Note to self, next time when you order aluminum paneling on Amazon, make sure you pay the extra to get them wrapped in plastic. Because we didn't know that, and they came a little scratched up, so now we gotta fix that. But other than that, I mean, we're in really good shape. I'm excited about phase 3 getting ready to get started. Right after the first of the year, I planned my 2-month vacation. No. Maria just had a heart attack. But we're excited to get that project going. Getting anything we can get new, I'm excited about. And for new office area, for the new gym, for all of this, it's going to be a great project. It'll all have its little problems and little things where we throw a breaker here or there while we're working on the building, and all of a sudden we don't have lights in the dining room or something for a short time. It will happen, believe me. So we'll make sure that we interrupt things at the most inopportune time. So fire alarms going off and stuff like that.
On a Sunday.
Yeah, on a Sunday, any which way. So that's pretty much my report. Ann, did you have any other questions or anything?
I don't.
Okay.
I think Building F is just so exciting looking.
Is there any plan for cleaning up the down trees on the other side of the campus?
Are you talking about the ones out
They're in the wetlands. Right?
in the wetlands?
Some of them, but
we
some
have
of
a
them are not.
project with corporate, our regionals were just in. We discussed that, some pictures were taken. We're holding water in that area, so those trees are drowning, actually. It's not a wetland. And so we're working on that. Engineers, there's a big process because we can't just go out there and drain it because we'll get in trouble by the county if we don't do the proper permitting. So, but we did see some stuff go through, some emails, so I think there's some progress moving along on that.
Is there any timeline?
I don't have a timeline, so.
And Dr. Boss, hold on one second. So just so you know, we had about an hour-long conversation about this yesterday. They sent me the pictures. There's an engineer coming out. There's some other things going on. So as soon as I get more of a timeline, I'll share it with you. But that is in the process, and we're aware. What we can do about that, hopefully we'll get some folks' input and be able to do something about
Yeah.
it. So.
You'll also notice that back on the back pond where we got the 4 lights back there, the solar lights, where I did get a 4th one. I got the one that was fixed that was bad that came in. So all 4 of them should be lit now, so please keep that in mind. Is there 5?
5.
I think
Five.
that's 5.
5 with the new, with the one
Okay,
fixed.
okay. Well, somebody else keep me accountable. I'm not good on dates, I'm not good on time. So, but anyway, so in that area, you notice us back there, we're gonna be doing some trenching and stuff, because we gotta run some water down to the butterfly garden, so we can get started on that project. And that's gonna be coming along, but we gotta get some water down there so we can go on with the next phase of the project. So you'll see us working down in that area, so. Yes, sir.
We are the thorn in the neighborhood with our unfinished roof. What's the latest in the?
I have not gotten an update. I knew you got your skylight installed, so they prepped. It looks like they were prepping for it. The contractor,
It leaked before they left, and we got a hold of them when they went back.
they came back and fixed it. Okay, well, that's the main thing, as long as they come back and fix it. So I will try to get you an update on that from the contractor. They'll have to call the vendor that supplies it and see. And we knew it was gonna be a while. I was hoping that they would get it, because I think they're actually making the tile somewhere in New England. I don't know where they're making it at, but someplace that's not here, because I know they have a big factory that usually makes those tiles.
Okay.
So, but we'll let you know here shortly. I'll make a note. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about the lights around the pond there.
Mm-hmm.
What you just put in. I have no problem with them, but I was just wondering, can they be light bulbs in there that are the warm light? Blue cold lights are very industrial looking and
Yeah.
don't really
Well,
fit into
these were a test basically, to see it was all that was available to me. I'll be truthful with you, these are just run-of-the-mill Amazon lights that I found that were the cheapest I could find to run the test, because I didn't want to go in there and throw a real expensive light system in. So as we fine tune that, I can look into that and see, because I'm not a fan of the bluish lights myself either.
because they don't
So-
blend in with the other exterior lights. on the
Yeah, I
buildings
like
or
the soft
anything.
lights, so, yeah. Okay. Yes, sir, Mr.
Hey,
Fox.
Richard, wanted to ask you, one of the Villa 2 being, when would you do that cleaning and, that area?
In what,
Villas 2, all Villas 2, we call the Villa 1 and Villas 2. Any cleaning and mulching in that area?
we're coming through the campus right now.
The whole campus will be.
All the campus is gonna get mulched, and it's just,
Some trees were going to be trimmed,
Mhm.
in March, they did some, and then they said they'll come back, but we
Yeah.
haven't had any trimming
yeah,
of those trees for the last 6 months now.
right. They're coming back to do all of the ones with the smaller truck that they gotta get on the grass. And so we'll get that done. That's what they got the big truck out of here yesterday, and now they gotta come back for the smaller ones.
Have they put a ribbon around the trees that are?
They have put a ribbon around trees that need to be trimmed, but I'm not sure if they got back there. I'll have to
No,
clarify
they
with
haven't
the
got
guys.
to that area at all.
So, okay, yeah,
They'll won't get there unless there's a ribbon.
yeah. So I'll make sure that it gets taken care of, so. Okay, all right.
8 months.
Very good. Thank y'all. Have a good day.
Time. That's a short time.
Rhonda. Rhonda, you're the next contestant on Time of Life.
Okay, good morning. Can you hear me okay? So as Vernon mentioned, tomorrow at 2:30, we will have just a little brief thank you from the team members for the residents, thanking you for your generosity. And on behalf of my department, I thank you also for your contributions to the Employee Appreciation Fund. So at 2:30 in the Palm Court, we'll be getting some notices up. I thought we had already done that, but I apologize, they haven't gone up yet. And then at 3 o'clock, we have reserved the pool area tomorrow. We're gonna have a little team member event down by the pool, so just so you're aware, the team members will be having our holiday celebration at the pool at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Can we
So-
join that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
come on down.
thank them ourselves.
I didn't know whether or not we were allowed to go there.
Of course, it's your home.
Others
Okay.
can come, but not you.
Okay. A couple of other holiday events we have coming up next Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the Palm Court. We will have a cocktail hour, Christmas cocktails, so please join us for cocktails on the 15th. On the 19th, we will have a visit from Santa. It's a Sunday at 2 o'clock. We'll be doing pictures, cookies, and cocoa with Santa. I'm sure most of you know who Santa is, but if not, you show up and you'll
We
see
know
Santa.
him
You
very well.
know him
He
very
lives on
well.
campus.
Yes, he's very jolly. And then also at 3 o'clock, we're gonna switch over from Santa Claus to Santa Paws. So people with pets, if you wanna bring your dogs or cats over, Santa has agreed to do pictures with pets also, so that'll be at 3 o'clock for Santa Paws. So, we also have coming up our ladies' holiday tea luncheon on the 20th, followed by a Christmas carol sing-along at 7 that evening on the 20th. New Year's Eve, we have a couple of different things going from New Year's Eve. We have Happy New Year at noon for those of you that don't want to be out at night. You can have lunch. We're going to have a champagne toast if you want to celebrate early, so you don't need to come out again or don't want to come out later in the evening. 5 to 8 will be our dinner dance, so we'll have dinner music from 5 to 6, and then the dancing will start from 6 to 8. For those of you that you want to stay and ring in the new year at midnight, we will have a gathering. We're not sure if it's going to be Longwood Room or the Heron Club. We're waiting to see how big of a turnout we'll have. It's just going to be get together with your friends, play some games. We'll have some cards set up, some hors d'oeuvres and champagne and the TV so you can watch the ball drop from Times Square. So, and I don't know if Richard mentioned, but John Adams will be here tomorrow for the final install in this room, so we'll have our projector and everything installed tomorrow, and I think that'll be
I
it.
was leaving that for you.
Oh, you're saving that for me, thank you, Richard. So that'll be the final, I believe the final
Yes.
install for this room, so this room will be finished after that. So that will be taking place in here tomorrow. And I think that's it for me, so, yes,
When are you gonna paint the board?
paint the board.
The one back there.
Bingo board.
We'll paint it for you.
The bingo board, sadly, we're having issues with, so I don't know if it can be repaired. It's so old that I don't know if they're gonna be, the last time they were here, they told us that they can't get parts for that anymore, so we're looking at alternatives.
It worked Monday.
Did it work? Okay.
I'm just wondering, but it looks so ugly out there.
Yes, I agree.
I'll get a paintbrush and paint the
Okay.
backside.
I was even trying to get the paint's a problem right now.
Yeah, okay, so that.
We'll do this, just to answer your question, we'll paint the board, once we get the paint,
Yeah.
we finally found another connection, so maybe we can do
Yeah.
that until we get an alternate board found,
Yeah.
so we'll do that.
Or I'll cover it in fabric, I don't care.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Would you go for the dinner dance, is all that gonna be in the longer room? In other words, you eat and there's gonna be music going on and you can dance?
Yes, in the dining room, in the palm court.
The
Mhm.
palm court.
Yes, they'll move those tables off the dance floor area, the band will probably set up back behind there, and, we'll have dinner and then the dance music.
And if you have a reservation, you come anytime between 5 and 8 if you have a table.
That would be a culinary question, I'm not sure how they're doing service
Actually,
for
I
that.
think it would, for the dinner itself, you need to be in and seated by 5:30 or 5:45, because they're gonna be finishing up. They're gonna set, eat, and then dance. So,
We were told that we had that table from 5 to 8 and we could come anytime and nobody, it was not, there wasn't.
well, you
any
can,
change.
but you won't be fed if you're in past
Okay, that's an
5:30 or
important
6.
thing.
But I'm gonna say that for Chris, only because I know what it takes. Because they prep the food and everything, then normally what happens is you're there between 5 and 5:30. And then you can, as long as you're there, you can let them know when you want dinner. But you need to be in your chair by 5:30, is what I would say. That way you'll get fed.
Okay, so that's it for me, I guess,
One more.
turn it over to.
Are we inviting any of the new people that Sarah's got coming in the month of December to any of these functions?
I believe so, I
Yes.
believe there are people coming, yes,
Well,
potential
how do we-
residents.
We
Have we,
actually,
have we gone out and asked them if they'd like to attend any of these?
yes, so what we do is any large events that we're doing, like the cocktail hour on the 15th or the New Year's Eve party, we're actually reaching out to all of our depositors because on top of the 11 we have moving in by the end of this month, we also have another 8 already scheduled for 2022. So we reach out to all of them, invite them to all of these events. So that way, if they want to attend, they can start becoming part of the community earlier. And then what we do is usually we hold a table for the sales people that are going to attend. So you'll see usually within about a week before the event, If we don't have anyone who's RSVP'd, we release that table back so residents can be part of that as well, if you all haven't gotten a table yet. So, but we try not to do more than a table of like 6 to 8 because you all come first. But we do want to invite some people in, so, yes.
Well, I was thinking about integrating it with some of the people that are here, rather than sitting by themselves.
Absolutely, and I would love to do that. I just know many of you all get your table together and you RSVP all at the same time as a table. So if you have space open, let me know because I would love to fill that with someone. But I don't wanna intrude on what your plans are already.
Don't you
So-
work with the neighbor to neighbor committee on that sort of thing?
We do, and I usually work with, Mindy does our move-in buddy program.
Right.
So since she kind of heads up those new move-ins, I usually work with her and say, hey, we've got so-and-so coming for this event. You
And
know,
so you will be
Absolutely.
reaching out to,
Absolutely.
I think that will help.
Absolutely. So, yes.
Okay, well, with that, I'll turn it over to your resident council chief.
Okay, thank you. It's wonderful to have you all here where we can ask the questions in person and kind of get a feeling of all the little things that we wonder about that we're not sure and that they are being taken care of on our behalf. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Oh, wait, we have one more question.
Vernon, I understand that the drink prices are not going up for next year.
Correct.
However, it would be nice before the end of the year to implement either a card punch or such, especially with New Year's Eve coming up. It makes it easier if you wish to purchase a drink. So if you
Almost
know
made it out.
somebody.
Almost made it out.
You want to take the?
No, it's a very good point. It's something, what I've learned a lot of times is that if we do something, I want to do it right. I mean, timing is very important. What I mentioned, when we had the transition from our old system to the point of service system that we have now, the full count system, one of the things that we wanted to make sure we did was be able to provide a credit card, and it'll say Village on the Green on it. Instead of having the punch tickets, you'll have these. With having a new business office manager working out some of the kinks with the billing, that was my original idea. I would love to push it before the end of the year. I just really want to talk with the business office, see how we can make sure that we implement it and communicate it appropriately. They are coming. I don't want to necessarily say it's going to be before the end of the year, but I'll see what I can do about maybe pushing it a little bit more to make sure that it runs smoothly. But we do have that card program coming back for the alcohol and things. So, Stan, I can lie to you. I don't lie to you. I'm just telling you.
No, I
want to do it right.
understand.
So.
You gave me an answer.
Yes, okay, gotcha. So anyway, thank you. And if you get it before then, great. But I will put it on my agenda to make sure I talk to her. But I want to make sure that we roll it out right. You can recharge it. The cards work. We've heard some from others, some other communities where some things didn't quite work out well. So I just want to make sure I do it right.
First round on you, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Reporting on the council, do what?
The microphone down.
Oh,
There you go.
like that? Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Oh, good.
Whole new world.
Reporting on the December 2nd council meeting, we opened the meeting with my letter of appreciation to the council members and all the council chairs. And that letter is attached to the minutes. Oh, let me back up. The minutes from the council meeting went out yesterday. There are copies that have been circulated to everybody. They're available at the front desk with all the attachments. So this letter that I'm speaking about is also attached. Sue can make copies for anybody that wants them of absolutely everything that beyond what I'm going to report on today. But I appreciate so much the work that the council members have done this year. As you can see, we have so many frustrating moments where we think something's going to be done, it isn't done, you have to wait for it, you have to push and cajole and prod. that's part of it. None of it happens quickly, and it's all part of our life here, and I think you all have shown terrific resilience. Please keep it up. I also made a special thanks to our outgoing member, Scotty Wood, who's
That's all right.
okay, but we appreciate everything you did, Scotty, and Della is taking up the reins in his role in the role of building rep for Building C, and Larry Herbert is taking up for Raquel Hoffman in Building D. And I also wanted to make special note of Carol Parker. She's leaving the committee of historian. We haven't found a substitute. We're still looking and hope somebody will step forward and enjoy doing that role. But I'm not going to shove it down somebody's throat if they don't want to do it. So we'll just wait and see how that works out. Let me give you a list. I thought maybe Sarah would do it, but she didn't. Of the newcomers since we last met, and this will go through December 31st, and that should be all the new names that you will have. We have Iris Fisher, D116, who closed on the 6th. Where are we? Yes. That has happened. Harold and Linda Gotchel in New Villas, 158. They're, I suppose, closing on the 15th of December. Murray and Susan Craig are closing by the 31st of December for building F312. There was a little glitch in our original minutes, but it's building F312. Billy Griffin in D104 is closing by the end of the month. Mark and Hetty Blinderman in a new Villa 195 are also closing by the end of the month. And Bill and Regina LaCaff, new Villa 147, also by the end of the month. And as you heard, they may very well be at some of these Christmas functions here that we have. So take a copy of the minutes or get a copy so you have their names and you can, keep your mind refreshed of who our newcomers are. At the meeting, I also remembered the loss of Bill Vaughn in Building A. He passed away November 3rd, and Kathy Smith, November 21st. Those were our two losses during the month. Now, as to the actual business, our very main business was the bylaws and what to do about it. And so, the proposed changes to the existing bylaws, which were approved at the November council meeting, were submitted to the independent living residents for their concurrence. Only 69 ballots were returned. Therefore, by existing bylaws, no quorum was reached. After discussion as to what action to take, a motion was made and seconded to keep the existing bylaws as written. The motion carried. So we're done with that. We're done with that, and the proposed standing rules, which the council had approved, will be published in a new version of the standing rules. Those are ours to do, and those we will do. Now, the Finance Committee reported, that was Basil Flum. He reported on two major things. The meeting on November 17th with the CEO Jesse Jansen, CFO Nick Harshfield, and our finance officer, regional one, Gabe Pedrero, plus Vern. And they went over, that was a meeting that was just, it went on for an hour and a half. It was wonderful. Basil said it was the best meeting he's ever had. And the write-up from that is also an attachment to the minutes. So you can read every little word about that you want to. Also, the Finance Committee reports monthly to the council, and their Section 5 quarterly is their commentary on the changes that have occurred just recently, just new changes that have occurred in the myriad of reports that they comb through every month. That is also an attachment, and that is also something that you can get at the front desk. And then the final report that the Finance Committee does every month is a PowerPoint, and the October 31st version was submitted by Basil to me just the other day, and that too is available at the front desk for everybody that is interested. What he said about it was, please let the residents know that the Finance Committee members are available to discuss any of this information. Also let them know, and the next has to do with Brady Wilkins, which Basil also chairs, and he talked about the orientation program that's underway in January for new students to apply for scholarships. We have details of that, and that's written up in the thing, and he also wanted people to know that the scholarship fund is in need of donations, and that the tax year ends this month, and that the program has been announced. So anyway, that's pretty much it from the Brady Wilkins. Now, the Employee Appreciation Fund, Steve Gus spoke for Mindy, who wasn't there. And as you've heard already, we all have raised $93,000 for the residents, for the team members this year. That's more than we've ever done before, and it's being divvied up in a special way.
Sorry.
Thank you. It's being divvied up, and that will be taking place tomorrow. We've already gone over that, haven't we? At 2:30 we have our function in the Palm Court, and then there's a team member function at, what is that, 3:30 at the pool.
3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock at the pool. So please, let's try to come and show our support for everything there that we've done. Steve Gus also reported for community services. We went over the pond. And Steve also suggested that it would be awfully nice if the team members were present at the council meetings. You can understand that there are some hardships to that. They're present at the committee level, and they're also present here. That would make a third time that they're taking their time to meet with us, but I think it is a courtesy to the council to come and meet with us in person, maybe not all of them all at once, but as things arise that should be reported, I think that would be a nice thing to do. Now, neighbor to neighbor, Al Porter talked about a lot of what Sarah has already given us, but the welcome letter that's given to newcomers, I think you all have seen it. It's got a picture up here, and it's from the Neighbor to Neighbor Committee, and it's about 4 pages of wonderful information that they published strictly for newcomers. That has been updated. The latest date on that publication is November 28th. That too is available at the front desk for anybody that wants a copy with all the latest thing. Now, Sandy has already said a certain amount about culinary, and Chris will come back tomorrow, and I think they're all set up for their Christmas parties and everything. Anything else, Sandy?
I don't think so. All the parties are set up. If anybody has any additions or questions, I know Orlando is leaving all the Tuesdays open because every other day this month is filled with parties or something going on. So he has one day to breathe, and other than that, he's hard at work.
What does it mean he's leaving Tuesdays open?
We're having no parties on Tuesdays for the month of December.
Oh, I see, no parties on
Because it's
Tuesday.
the only day
I
there
see.
won't be parties.
Well, and I would also advise everybody, making reservations for these parties, stay on top of it.
Yeah.
It just,
Right. And if you haven't made your reservation, be sure you do now, because I know they're getting close to filling each of the events.
okay, make your reservations now. The minute you hear about something, make your reservations and stay on top of it. I mean, just, things change rapidly and,
And everyone received their message about the survey from last month, that they will be doing, we will be changing daily, and there will be 4 entrees every day instead of, there will be some special salads and things that are gonna be offered, but there will be 4 regular menu items instead of 2 light and 2 heavy.
okay.
Starting the 12th.
I don't know whether Sandy's voice is being heard by whatever we're recording, but basically, as a result of the survey that we all did, starting next month,
The 12th.
the 12th,
This month.
the 12th of this
The
month,
12th of this month.
we will go to having
Every
day
change.
a changed meal.
And then all 4 entrees will be entrees, no, there won't be
Okay.
salad, there won't be
Okay, all 4
light,
entrees will be
regular, not
regular
light.
entrees, not a light fare. Okay, and that'll start the 12th of this month. Thanks, Sandy. Now, Stan reported for electronic communications, and right off the bat, there was a change after the council meeting. Due to scheduling issues, there will not be a communication class at all in December, period, amen.
But there was, but some showed up, and we took care of them.
Well, then there was. Would you like to say, oh, and also Steve Gus brought up the subject of streaming. He thought that would be a good thing to add to the class in the future. Is there anything else, Stan? I think that pretty well covered it, didn't it? In the healthcare committee, Dick Altman reported that he's still trying to identify a source for first aid support for independent living residents. That is absolutely his top priority. He's asked Vern to keep it at the top. We want that so badly. In the meantime, we do have dermatology services here for us, and the dental support is being sought. That's just been an area of frustration for Dick all along, but again, the little steps, maybe we'll get there. And I think that was it from the healthcare committee. Larry Herbert announced that this was for the Foundation Advisory Committee, which he is stepping down from, that Mike Corbett will be assuming leadership of the Foundation Advisory Committee in 2022. Larry will continue in an advisory function. And I think that's particularly significant considering how new Mike is. And I think it's wonderful for our newcomers to feel so motivated to step up and get involved in the stuff that we do around here. So we'll wish them all the best on that. There is a new vice president of philanthropy who's been announced, and she'll be visiting along with Jesse Jansen on the 16th of December. I don't have much information at all on that. I think her first name is Nancy, that's all I was given. So we'll just have to get back to you on that. Now, the different buildings reported. Sue High for Building A, we've already heard about their new lounge from Richard. Their building party is on December 9th, that's tomorrow. Building B, Sandy reported that Leo was doing well, which he is, and he sends his regards to everybody. Their party is on December 11th. Their decorations went up on Monday, and there are 4 residents from Building B who've moved over to the Oaks, and they're being invited to the Christmas party, which I think is wonderful. Scotty, of course, remains in his island of tranquility. And Della is taking over. I think we've covered Building C. Larry Herbert reporting for Building D. just said that he didn't really have anything to add, but he's getting his feet wet, so I have a feeling he's getting into some of the stuff that goes on as a building rep. Ron Hoffer's decorations were being put up on December 2nd as we were meeting. Their building party is on the 10th, and Sales will host their party on Monday the 6th. Did host their party on Monday the 6th. I didn't change that on this. These are the old ones. Now, Building F, Sam she's having trouble scheduling the Christmas decorations around the recolorization of the building and the carports and the painting of the lines and everything like that. But I believe Richard is planning to help her at some point get the Christmas decorations up. She also would like to have been involved in the walk around that Steve mentioned that he was doing with Vern. And I don't know to what degree that's possible to bring more people into it, but that was noted. In the Villas One, the cleaning staff, our cleaning staff, just all through the week before Thanksgiving, put up little lights on every individual villa's bushes. And I tell you, the street really looks wonderful. It just, all the lights are different, nothing matches anything, it doesn't have any negative bearing on it at all. It just looks festive, it really looks lovely. I thank them, and Stan thanked them. Zaf for Villas 2 said that 2 residents had moved in and had decorations up, and he wanted to be notified of new resident arrivals. And as we discussed that day, if you're not getting the information you need as a villa rep or a building rep, I think we've got to be proactive. I mean, you can see the pace at which things go on around here these days. And so if it's not coming to you as it really should, then turn around and ask for it and see if you can do it that way. Now, the monthly birthday parties have also been turned over. Stan and Joe have done it now for 2 years, 3 years? 2 years. I don't know many. 2 years. And they've done a beautiful job of it. And starting next year, John and Janet Knutson will be doing it. And I think that's wonderful too.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Pardon me. Mike Corbett also has taken over the Toys for Tot project, and as you can see, it just immediately got started with a big box out there, and toys are in it. And again, just more credit to him for stepping up and taking over something that's been done here for years under Phyllis Lieblick's careful watch, and we're glad to see it continue. In the other comments section, this was where Steve mentioned that he and Vern are now doing a once a month, 1 hour tour of the campus. And they did Building F and what, our villas?
Yeah.
On the first go round. And I think that's what prompted Sam to say that it would have been nice if the building reps could have been involved in that. But really, I mean, this is a time for community services to meet with Vern and do these issues one-on-one, and I think getting more people into it might confuse the issue. I don't know about you, Steve, but that's my take on it.
Yeah, it worked out a lot better. We were able to look at more and see more, and there was very little communication with people stopping us or anything.
Right,
like that.
yeah. I mean, you had limited time to accomplish a lot, and so I think we need to just leave that as it is. That's my personal opinion, and thank you for that. Zaf provided a summary of known facts about the Omicron virus. The bottom line being that the booster shots will have a milder reaction. I know we're all following that on television, so I don't think I have to expound on health issues. And of course, we get our health advice from Life Space and from Sarah Ham. And I should take some of it. The bingo board, Sonia mentioned that, and apparently that's under consideration now with the paint. Maybe we'll get the paint. That'll be good.
We need a pint of paint? We need 1 pint or 1 quart?
Well, it doesn't need much, but getting paint.
1 quart of paint? What color?
The primer first. The color of
The
the
color of the wall?
Yes, the wall.
Visible paint.
It seems to be a problem getting the paint.
This
1
color?
quart of paint.
Yeah.
Because we'll just put, what we'll
If
do
they
is
look
we'll put
around, they
gills,
may find
we'll
some
put gills on the
leftovers
base, and then put
from
one
the
of those,
wall.
and it's done.
I don't see why it's a problem, I really don't, but
You give
anyway,
it
I mean,
paper.
this
Give
too
it
has
the roller
been, this
on.
is not the first time that subject has come up, so, you know, there you
We'll
go.
paint it, and then they don't have to worry
And
about it.
we are looking for an electronic solution using the projector. Found out that Abbey Del Rey South has such a program, and we're looking to see if we can incorporate that here, so the board will not be.
So the board wouldn't be
You need
used,
it, I mean-
well, that could be, maybe they're stalling a little bit, just to see if we can't get this electronic thing done, I honestly don't know. And lastly, at our council meeting, I asked that the committee chairs please provide a year-end report to put in their books in the library. I don't know how closely people are following that, and since the council is really pretty much the same as it was last year, it doesn't necessarily have to be done because you already know what went on this year. But I think it's a nice courtesy or a nice habit to get into, to pass from one year to the next. My final job is to provide a timeline. It's all done through November, I just have to do the December one, to take the highlights from this, to put in the timeline, and then that'll be a running, you know, it's just 2 or 3 pages documentation of sort of the things that we've accomplished as a council, meetings we've had, and dates and names, and, you know, little reference material. Nothing that anybody's waiting for, but I'm gonna do it anyway, just because I want to. Do we have any questions? Absolutely no questions. Well, as you know, all of this is available. Our next resident council meeting is in January the 6th. And it'll be followed the following Wednesday with another resident meeting such as this. So if there are no other questions or comments, any comments from anybody?
Thank you for your year's service.
We're done.